morning, beautiful people. Today is Monday, October 30th, and yesterday we had a Sunday afternoon matchup between my Cleveland Browns and the Seattle Seahawks. And Browns, what happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. Usually after a Browns win, we'd all just run around the city screaming, "Victory Monday, yeah, woo!" But when the Browns lose, we don't have a name for that. Me personally, I like to refer to those Mondays as Misery Monday. But today, it's not a Misery Monday, and I'll tell you why. Our $230 million superstar quarterback is sidelined until who knows when. Our superstar tank of a tailback in Nick Chubb is out for the season. We had a list of other number ones who were either listed as inactive or questionable for the game. Our third string quarterback, who has only played 3 games with the organization, is out there running the show. All things considered, I thought this game was going to go a lot worse than what it did, but the Browns went out there and fought a deadlocked, even fight to the end. The only deciding factor in this game was a coaching blunder that happened in the fourth quarter with less than 1 minute left in the game, but we'll get into that later. That's what happened. For the most part, this was a neck and neck contest all the way to the end. We had a few coaching hiccups and execution blunders, but Seattle had just as many as we did. That's what happened. I'll start with our offense first. PJ Walker was 15 to 31 for 248, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, including one crucial one in the fourth quarter that sealed away our potential win. Completion percentage was just under 50%, so not too good in that department. But, hear me out, when he actually did connect with his targets, they actually made great things happen. Mostly Amari Cooper and David Njoku, they went above and beyond to put us in good situations to make beautiful things happen. So that's the silver lining in that situation. That's what happened. Rushing. This is the part of the video that's going to garner a bit of friction because the Browns did a darn good job of moving the ball on the ground yesterday. Kareem Hunt had 14 carries for 55 yards, 1 TD, and averaged 4 yards a carry. Pierre Strong, who I think has been a welcoming addition to the team, had 10 carries for 41 yards and averaged 4 yards a carry. Jerome Ford had 9 carries for 37 yards, averaged 4 yards a carry. Hell, even PJ Walker had 6 rushes for 27 yards, averaged 4 yards a carry. Our rushing unit as a whole averaged 4 yards a carry. I want you to remember that stat line, 4 yards a carry. Remember that for later. That's what happened. Defense started off a little shaky. Those first 2 drives for Seattle, they marched the ball downfield and scored with ease. But when you got Jim Shorts running the show and you see something is not working, what do? You make adjustments. So after those adjustments were made, Seattle would then go on to not score a single touchdown for the entire second, the entire third, and almost all of the fourth quarter until the last minute of the game, but we'll talk about that later. That's what happened. Martin Emerson had a critical interception that helped us out. That put us in a really good spot. Maurice Hurst had a crazy interception. Batted one of Geno Smith's balls up himself and came down with it. I'm a former D lineman, so I love when I see the big boys go out there and make plays like that. Myles Garrett had a couple tackles, added another sack to his list, and for the most part, defense played well the second, third, and most of the fourth quarter, all the way into the end. That's what happened. Geno Smith was 23 of 37 for 254, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, but he showed up when it counted, and his receivers did the same thing as well. That's what happened. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet would actually team up to become the 2-man power core of the Seattle rushing unit, with Charbonnet actually having 5 carries for 53 yards and actually averaging a first down per carry. That's actually pretty good. That's what happened. The entire Seattle receiving core showed up and showed out when it counted. I'm not even going to go through the personal player stats. All I know is that the least amount of yardage that they averaged per catch was 11.5, and I believe the most was 16 yards a catch. They all showed up when it mattered. That's what happened. Seattle's defense played pretty good. Bobby Wagner doing what Bobby Wagner does. His helmet was in on the mix on every single play. He had 3 tackles and 10 assists, so he was involved somehow in every single tackle. PJ Walker got sacked 3 times, including one crucial one on the Browns' final drive by Darrell Taylor that put them at 4th and 19. 2 interceptions for the Seattle defense, including 1 game-sealing, game-winning interception by Julian Love that pretty much sealed away the win for him. That's what happened. Now that we got all the stat lines out of the way, let's really get our hands on this luggage and unpack this. You hear me? With the exception of the first 2 Seahawks possessions where they actually moved the ball and scored on us with ease, after making adjustments, the Browns defense held the Seahawks to a completely scoreless second quarter and almost a completely scoreless second half. While the Browns offense, despite PJ Walker's lacking completion percentage and turnover habits, I think actually went out there and moved the ball pretty good and put up 21 points. So you ask me, how does a team drop the ball so hard on the final lap of the race? How does that happen? Well, I'll tell you how it happens, and the answer to that question can be summed up in one word: coaching. Now, this is the part of the game that we like to discuss that's going to garner some friction because it completely divides the fan base and turns comment sections everywhere into a full-blown free-for-all because everybody's seen something different and everybody has a different take on what happened. And I have seen some grade A, straight up, bullshit, bogus takes on the reasons on why we lost this game. Ranging from, but not limited to, oh, PJ Walker's trash. Oh, he turns the ball over too much. It's his fault. Not disagreeing with that, but that is not the reason why we lost the game. Or, oh, our running backs, none of them ever cracked 100 yards. Oh, they need to do more. Or, oh, our defense, they're supposed to be the #1 defense in the league, but they let them score in the last minute of the game where it was most critical. They should have done more. Or, the one that makes me grit my teeth the most, oh, Cameron Mitchell had an opportunity for a pick six. He needs to catch that and run it in for a touchdown. If he catches that and runs it in for a touchdown, we win the game. It's all his fault, man. Shut up. That's what needs to happen. The reason the Cleveland Browns lost this game is 110% on Kevin Stefanski and his lacking fourth quarter late game play calling skills. That's what happened. Now, don't get me wrong. He actually called a pretty decent game all the way until the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter where that Ivy League, big brain, Pennsylvania background shows up and that annoying habit of his reveals itself where he tries to be the smartest guy on the field and outsmart the other team only for it to fail miserably and we get burned in the end. Only this time, just like all the other times before, it cost us the game. That's what happened. We're going to go through all of these takes piece by piece, starting with the PJ Walker take. That's what's about to happen. For those of you that are blaming PJ Walker for the loss, trust me, I get it. He is not a great NFL quarterback. However, it is not his fault that we lost that game yesterday for the simple fact that PJ Walker is who he is. We know his strengths, we know his weaknesses, we know where he's lacking, and we know what we're getting every time he steps on the field. That's what happened. He's not Patrick Mahomes, he's not Tom Brady, he's not Jalen Hurts, he's not a guy that's going to go out there and handle the ball with care, but some of you guys are expecting him to go out there and give back those kind of results. It's not going to happen. PJ Walker is 5'11". I'm pretty sure he's having a tough time seeing his receivers downfield over big 6'5", 300-pound linemen. His quarterbacking IQ is lacking. He either makes the complete wrong read or he makes a late read, both resulting in turnovers. The man can barely throw a football 20 yards downfield, and on top of all of that, he does not know how to utilize his second and third option. If his #1 man is locked up or either takes himself out of the play, he either 1, holds on to the football too long, resulting in either a sack or a turnover. 2, scrambles out of the pocket because he has happy feet, resulting in either a sack, an injury, or a turnover. Or 3, tries to force the play to his #1 guy, whether he's out of the play or he's double covered, which, say it with me, class, results in a turnover. That's what happened. Knowing all of that information about your third string quarterback and finding yourself in a 3rd and 3 situation for all of the marbles, it's either all or nothing. You do not place the fate of the game in the hands of your third string quarterback, knowing all of the things that can go wrong and knowing that you have other options that you can explore. That is a coaching error. That is Kevin Stefanski. That is what happened. Moving on to the next bogus take about our running backs not cracking 100 yards. Remember earlier in the video, I told y'all to remember that one stat line, 4 yards a carry for our entire rushing unit. Everybody averaged 4 yards a carry. Remember I told y'all to remember that? Well, now it's time to unpack that a little bit. Score is 20-17. The Browns have 2 timeouts. It's 3rd and 3. There's 2 minutes and 4 seconds left in the game, and it's on the Browns' 41-yard line. You have 2 attempts to get a first down, 3rd down and 4th down. If you don't get it the first time on 3rd down, say you pass the line of scrimmage and you don't get the first down, you have another attempt to try on 4th and short. Or if you don't feel comfortable in your abilities, you punt the ball away and force the Seahawks to have to move the ball down the full length of the field to try to get their touchdown while putting your defense in a better position and helping them out to get a 4 and out and possibly getting the ball back to run the clock out. That's what needs to happen. If you're a head coach and you find yourself in this situation, I don't care what level you're at, Pop Warner, middle school, high school, college, semi-pro, NFL, if you're a coach with even an ounce of common sense, you're going to run that ball. That's what needs to happen. Nah, not Kevin Stefanski, because Kevin Stefanski is way too smart to call something like that. You want to see what Kevin Stefanski called? This is what Kevin Stefanski called.
Pressure coming from Adams, and that's batted, and it is picked off! Julian Love, the interception at the biggest moment, and finally Jamal Adams when they needed it most.
Your rushing game has been tearing them up on the ground all day. Everybody's averaging 4 yards a carry, even your quarterback, 4 yards a carry. You only need 3 yards in order to continue your drive, and you have 2 downs to get it done, 3rd down and 4th down, but nah. You just couldn't help yourself, could you, Kevin? You just had to go out there and try to be the smartest guy in the room, and ultimately you ended up burning us, the fans, your players and teams, and most of all, you ended up burning yourself, Kevin. How many times are you going to repeat this boneheaded process of calling this BS before you actually start to learn from your boneheaded mistakes, Kevin? Seattle would then go on to score off of a screen pass to Jackson Smith-Njigba, which ultimately sealed the win in for them and sealed the loss in for us and put the score at 24-20. That's what happened. There's nobody walking the face of this planet right now that can convince me that that was the correct play call to make in that situation. And if you think you can, I invite you to come and plead your case, and I'll plead mine in return, and we'll have some fun with it. That's what I want to happen. Moving on to the next bogus take. Our defense should have did more because they didn't stop the Njigba touchdown at the end. Bro, our defense nearly held them to a scoreless 3 quarters of football. They completely shut them out in the second quarter, completely shut them out in the third quarter, did not get a single touchdown, and almost shut them out in the fourth quarter. They scored in the last minute of the game. That's what happened. Martin Emerson had a critical interception. Maurice Hurst had a critical interception. Myles Garrett added a sack to his collection. Cameron Mitchell almost had a pick six. Man, our defense was playing. In reality, the way that our run game was tearing them up all game, our defense for real should have never seen the field again for the rest of the game. That's what should have happened. Our defense nearly pitched a shutout for 3 quarters straight. They shut them down in the second quarter, and they shut them down in the third quarter, and they almost did it in the fourth. And because they were forced to go back out on the field and correct a coaching issue brought about by their boneheaded coach, and they weren't able to make magic by sticking their hand down into the magical magician's top hat and pulling out a magical win, they get blamed for it. Stop the nonsense. That's what needs to happen. This video is getting pretty lengthy, so I'm about to start wrapping it up. The last bogus take that I want to touch on is the Cameron Mitchell drop pick six. I understand why people are upset with this. He makes that pick six, we win the game. However, it is not the defense's primary job to go out there, make pick sixes, and score points for the team. That's what happened. A defensive back's primary focus is to stop any receptions from being made by the receiver that they're defending against and making tackles on said receiver in the case that the reception is actually made. Anything else on top of that, pick sixes, freaking interceptions, sacks in the backfield, all of that is just extra money in the bank. That's what happened. Cameron Mitchell did his job perfectly. He broke up the pass, forcing it to be a dead ball. He almost got a pick six. He dropped it, but he did his primary job first, and he did it well. So in my opinion, not his fault. It's not his job to go out there and score points as well as defending passes as well. That's what happened. All in all, despite my favorite team losing, it was still a pretty good game. It was deadlocked even all the way to the end. They made a lot of mistakes. We made a lot of mistakes, but in the end, it was still a good game to watch. I'm not hearing any of these BS takes about PJ Walker, our tailbacks, our defense, Cameron Mitchell's pick six drop. I'm not hearing any of those BS takes on the reason why we lost this game, because all of that can still continue to happen except for the touchdown that the defense gave up at the end of the game. But that should have never happened to begin with because they should have never been on the field. But all of that can still continue to happen, and we still have a very good shot at winning this game if Kevin Stefanski just plays it safe and runs the ball on 3rd and short when you have Kareem Hunt on the roster. If he just runs that ball, we have 2 downs to try to get a first down. And like I said, even if we don't get the first down, you punt the ball and force them to have to use the full length of the field to try to get their touchdown, and that helps our defense to possibly get them a 4 and out and get us the ball back so we can run out the clock. His late game management skills are just awful, and they have cost us time and time and time again, and they cost us last night. So congratulations to the Seahawks. You guys played a heck of a game, and you earned the win, and I think I'm going to end that one right there. Tonight, we got a Monday night matchup between the Raiders and the Lions. I'm thinking that the Lions are going to go ahead and take this one, but the NFL is a mysterious place. You never know what's going to happen. So I'll be checking into that one, and I'll definitely be making a video on it, and I'll catch you guys next time.